Hi, and welcome to episode number 2 of the Soggy Kookaburra podcast, which is my little podcast all about crochet, knitting, and making all of the crafty things. Today is Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, the 7th of May 2018, and we are currently in the UK experiencing beautiful weather, gorgeous sunny weather on a bank holiday, which is practically unheard of. I am absolutely sweltering in this sweater, but I will explain about that in just a moment. If you are a new viewer, welcome aboard the Crafty train. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and checking out this episode. My name's Kathy. I live in a small town in North Wales in the UK. I live here with my husband, our teenage son, and our 2 cats, Pickle and Puka. You can find me on Ravelry as Kiltar. And if you like this episode and would like to see more, just click on the subscribe button just down there and you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. I'm really excited. I've got 2 finished objects this podcast, which is something of an achievement. I work full time, so I don't get a great deal of time to do my crafting. But I have 2 finished objects. This is one of them. This is, let's have a look if I've got my notes for it. It is the Over Easy Cowl Neck Pullover by the Caron design team. It is a crochet jumper. I'll stand up so you can see it. In a very exciting, reddy, purpley, browny, yellowy kind of yarn. The yarn is James C. Brett Marble and the colourway is MT27. It's 100% acrylic, which I started this sweater, oh crikey, almost 2 years ago, and I was reasonably new. It was my first full-on garment, and I probably wouldn't go down the 100% acrylic route again, but I have to say it is now done. I'm very pleased to have it out of the work in progress box. It more or less fits. It will certainly be lovely and squidgy and warm for winter. I don't know if I'll wear it out in public, truth be told, but it will do great for winter here at home. Just bear with me a moment. I'm going to take it off because I am literally sweltering here. Absolutely. It's like 22 degrees here. Whew. Okay. So yeah, that's the cowl neck sweater. It wasn't particularly difficult, but it was time consuming. What I learned about crocheting this garment was that I don't really like making garments. It just seemed to go on forever. So honestly, I cannot tell you how pleased I am that it is now finished. So that can go in my wardrobe to wait for winter, if the cats don't decide to sleep on it in the meantime. So that's my first finished object. Second finished object, you will be surprised to know, is a pair of socks. So these are socks for me, and they're a bit wrinkly because my sock blockers are not quite big enough for my sock size. So there they are, they're lovely. So these are from Sockhead Coop Knits yarn, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, which is my preferred sock yarn, as I think I mentioned last episode. It's in the Topaz colourway, which is 113. So just a plain vanilla sock, 2x2 rib. It's a modified eye of partridge heel. You can see it has this lovely pattern there. And they fit a treat. They're lovely. They've actually been washed and worn a couple of times because I finished them not long after my last podcast, which, believe it or not, was over a month ago. That just flies by. Oh my goodness, my show notes are falling everywhere. It's because I've got the window open because it's so warm. Okay, so yeah, 2 finished objects, which, as I say, for me, pretty impressive, I've got to say. As usual, I have a huge number of works in progress. I do like to have, as I mentioned last month, lots and lots of works in progress on the go. It gives me options so that I don't get bored with anything. Bear with me, I'm going to have some lovely fresh filter coffee. So last podcast I mentioned the socks that I was making for my husband in the Peacock colourway. I've not literally done no work on them, so I'm not going to show them this time. But I have done some considerable work on the socks that I was making for my brother, or I am making for my brother Sam. So I have now finished the first sock in that pair. He has enormous feet. Why do I make socks for people with enormous feet? Why do I do that to myself? But there we go. So that's one down. I literally finished this last night. This is in West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, which is 75% Blueface Leicester and 25% nylon, 4-ply, and it's in the Cocktail Mojito colourway. So one sock down. I have just started, I don't even know whether I bother showing you, look, I've just started the second pair. So getting on with those. I'm going to work on these today, I think, because it's going into winter back in Australia. And I would really like to send these socks over to Sam before the end of winter. So it's quite a short season over there. So yes, one down, one to go. I always prefer to do the second sock because I make notes. Oh my goodness, I'm not having much luck with these notes. I make notes of how many rows of things. So the second sock always goes much more quickly because I'm not having to measure and work out how big things need to be. I can just copy it. With that sock, I actually tried it on my son last night because he has the same foot size as my brother, mostly because my son has enormous feet, and they fit him a treat, and he has now asked for his own pair. So we're going to pick out some yarn today and I'll start a pair for him. Okay, so that is Sam's socks. I have a second pair of socks on the go at the moment. Now these ones, a new pattern for me. Usually I do vanilla socks, but this one is, this pair is actually for my sister, who also lives back in Australia. And it's the Hermione's Everyday Sock. I think every person and their grandma has knitted this pattern. I thought it was about time that I did as well. So you can see it's more patterned than a vanilla sock, but it's not too complex. It's got, again, another modified Eye of Partridge heel, which is great because I know how they work. And the yarn for this one, bear with me while I find the details. It's King Cole Zig-Zag 4-ply, and the colourway is 1252 Rainbow. Now I've got to be honest with you, I don't like the colours, and I said as much on my Facebook page. And I was chatting to my sister, and she's like, "I love the colours." Like, great, you can have these socks. It's I don't mind the pinks and the blues. It's the browns and orange. Just kills me. It's a little bit too 1970s for my taste, but my sister loves them, so happy days. I am just about down to the heel on my first pair, my first sock of this pair. So again, I'm kind of hoping that I can crack on with that so I can send it off at the same time as my brother's socks because they both live in Melbourne. And with any luck, they'll get them before the end of winter, but don't hold me to it. So you have to excuse any noise you can hear outside because it's a bank holiday and I've got all the windows open. Every single person that walks past with their dogs or their kids, you can just hear all the traffic, so just ignore that. What else have I got? Oh, something that isn't a sock. So, my Stu, my husband, he needs a new beanie because we had a lovely knitted brown beanie that he's had, oh crikey, at least 10 years because we brought it over from Australia. Unfortunately, at some point the moths got to it. So we decided that he would definitely need a new beanie, and he picked out the yarn. So this is the yarn here. It's Denim Mix 4-ply Cygnet Truly Wool Rich. So it's 50% pure new wool and 25% polyamide. So basically a sock yarn. Isn't that lovely? And it's all kind of, it's not massively tonal, but it is very much a denim colour. I think the colour's coming up pretty true on the video. Yeah. So I've got 100 grams of this, and I am knitting him a Sockhead hat. So the Sockhead hat is by McClure. The colourway on this yarn, by the way, is 2137 Denim Mix. So this, I have had to increase the pattern quite a bit because Stu is blessed with a very full head of hair, and that makes his head bigger than, you know, most hats go up to. So this is a huge hat. I think I've cast on, what did I cast on for this one? 160 stitches. But you can see I've finished the ribbing. I am now onto the miles and miles of stockinette. And it's supposed to come out as a bit of a slouchy beanie, but I think with all Stu's hair, when he's got it up in a man bun, I don't think it'll be that slouchy, but that's okay. It will keep him warm. This is going to take me a while, partially because it's just going to be a lot of stockinette, miles and miles of stockinette, and also we're going into summer, so there's no big rush on it. So yeah, he's very happy with the colour though. My mum was very excited about this pattern, and she actually made herself a Sockhead hat, obviously in a much smaller size, and she's finished it. And I have to say that actually seeing her finished product, it's just really spurred me on because it looks fantastic. Hers is in like this really funky rainbow yarn. Admittedly, this is a bit more dull, but I'd rather make something that Stuart will actually wear rather than something that I like, but he won't wear. So there you go, they're all my works in progress. What else have I been up to? Oh, stash enhancement, stash piggery as we call it. Lots of bits and pieces over the last month. Some yarn, some other bits and bobs I'll show you. Sorry, it's not enough coffee in the world this morning. So, my best friend lives up in a place called Northwich, which is in Cheshire. And we were there, I can't remember why we were in the main street of Northwich. We were there for something. And I literally stumbled across a craft shop. A little craft shop called Crafty Stitches Limited. There's the little card. And so I stumbled in there, and of course, I had to buy something. I didn't even know this place existed. You know, apparently it's been there since like the late 1940s, the lady behind the counter was saying. So yeah, I had a little rifle and found some sock yarn. So I've got this fantastic, it's sparkly. I don't know whether you can really see, it's got stellina in it, so it's a little bit sparkly, and it's purples, which is my favorite color. And it's not striped exactly, I think. I don't know whether you can see. I think it's that one, or maybe that one. I'm not sure. It's one of the two, but it's kind of stripy, but not like clearly defined stripes. So this is Superwash Las Vegas Superwash 4-ply, and I'm not sure what the colorway is. It's either 004 or 1134. It's not, the label's not in English, and unfortunately I don't read German very well, or, you know, at all. So anyway, that's really funky. It's 4-ply, that's what I wanted to know. It's a 72% virgin wool, 24% polyamide, and 4% polyester, which is of course the sparkly bit. So yeah, I'm really, look at that lovely, I really hope you can see the sparkle in it. Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know whether I'm going to make this into socks, or I might do myself a Sockhead hat for winter. I don't know yet, but I like it anyway, it's squishy. I don't know, it might be a bit rough actually for a hat because of the sparkle in it. But anyway, so that's really cool. And the other sock yarn I bought from Crafty Stitches Limited, and I'll put the website and everything in the down bar below so you can link to it. They do have an online shop as well as their bricks and mortar shop, so highly recommend that if you're in the UK. I don't think they ship internationally. This is opal yarn. And again, look at sparkly rainbow. I absolutely love this colour, or these colours, this colourway. So this is opal yarn, 4-ply. Don't know that there's all that much information on it really. Again, it is all in German, so I can't really tell you. Oh, here we go. So we've got 71% virgin wool, 26% polyamide, and 3% polyester. And again, it's quite sparkly. You can see the sparkles on this one. Lovely rainbows. And again, I don't know whether that's going to be socks, or is it going to be a Sockhead hat, or is it going to be something else entirely? I really don't know yet. I haven't got a particular project in mind, but I really want to crack into this one in particular because it's so beautiful. And these colours, I do love the rainbows. You know, I love rainbow colours. Unfortunately, most people I know and knit for don't maybe like rainbows as much as I do. So I buy these beautiful yarns and then I think, I have to make it for me. Gee, damn. So anyway, two gorgeous balls of yarn. They're going in my stash and I'm looking forward to cracking on with those. I did buy some other bits and pieces which are not yarn, or not just yarn, but are yarn related. So my lovely American friend Emma is coming over to visit at the end of this month, and we always get lots and lots of crafting done when she's over, which is fantastic. Emma is probably the only person that comes over to visit that is properly into crafting like I am. So it's great for me to sit down and talk craft. Anyway, so she's coming over, and I thought to give her some things to do, projects to do while she's over here, I would pick up from Aldi some little amigurumi sets. How cute is that little fox? Crochet a friend fox. I love Aldi. Aldi over here has regularly, every 3 months or so, a big yarn and crafty special aisle setup thing going on. And I usually restrain myself, but I just couldn't. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? And I also got her, because she's very, very keen on animals, I got her a little pug one as well. And so these little kits, they've got everything that you need to make them. So the yarn, the hook, the stuffing, safety eyes, darning needle, and an instruction booklet. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how she gets on with those. I myself, although I have made amigurumi before, I'm not a massive fan of making them. I think they look fantastic, and I really admire people who have the patience to make them. I, on the other hand, do not. Lots of little bits that all need sewing together at the end. No, not my thing at all. Give me a pair of socks any day. But yeah, I think they're really cute, and I hope that she likes them. While I was in Northwich, and just after I stumbled across this yarn shop, I also went into the Works. Now, the Works in the UK is like a big chain store, and they mostly sell books and random stuff, and it's all discounted, so it's sort of almost factory seconds, but mostly books. And so I had a little swizz and came up with these two books. So my crochet Bible and my knitting Bible. Now, to be honest, the crochet Bible I actually bought for see, look, some great little patterns. I bought for Emma because I have loads and loads of crochet books, but again, because it sort of goes through and talks about all the different stitches, I thought it might be quite helpful for her to have a book over here, because she does come over a couple of times a year. It saves her lugging stuff back and forth from the US. This though, this is all for me. Knitting is a fairly new thing for me, as I think I mentioned. And yeah, really, other than socks and now my Sockhead hat, I really haven't done a great deal. And I'd love to learn more. One day I would love to try cables. They look quite impressive. They look a bit scary, but my mum assures me they're not as scary as they look. So I'm hoping that something like this, and again, it's got really nice little patterns, just simple things, but it's all about technique. And to be honest, that's how I learnt to crochet. I didn't go to classes, and I didn't really have YouTube at that point. I just got the basics from my friend Belle, and then started doing my best and just having a go at things. And the more that I learnt, the more confident I was following patterns, and now, more or less, you can throw anything at me and I'll give it a good go. Knitting, yeah, really not that confident yet. I can knit, I can purl, I can do increases, I can do decreases. That's pretty much the extent of it. So yeah, definitely something I would like to work on over the next 12 months, is expanding my knitting repertoire. Anyway, I do believe, although that's been quite a quick podcast, I think that's pretty much everything. Once again, thank you for tuning in. It's always good fun to share my bits and pieces with everybody, and give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That's always nice to get a bit of feedback, and I hope you enjoy the next few weeks, and I will hopefully see you again probably early June. So have a very crafty month, and I will see you soon. Bye.